Life is an improvisation. It's unpredictable. It's unscripted. As a musician, improvising is at the center of everything I do. Every single time I sit behind the drum set, I'm improvising. And improvising in music has taught me how to better improvise in life. Through improvising, I'm learning how to deepen my feelings of personal belonging. And by personal belonging, I mean feeling that I belong in my own body, feeling comfortable with myself, feeling that I belong to and with myself. I had pretty strong feelings of personal belonging growing up. My family, both biological and adopted, created a very comfortable and loving home space for me, where I never had to question if I belonged. But when I got to college, my personal belonging took a huge hit. As a first-generation, low-income student of color, Amherst felt foreign to me. Through dropping the script, though, and improvising more in life, I've recaptured my earlier and stronger feelings of personal belonging. In fact, I feel like I can belong pretty much anywhere now. So here are 3 lessons from improvisation on belonging. The first lesson is to be authentic. I'm going to define authentic here as being original to yourself, playing the music that's inside of you. Improv sounds best when it's filled with novel and original sounds. In music, I try to be authentic by taking the comfort I feel in the practice room and bringing that out into live performances with audiences. In the practice room, I'm flowing from idea to idea pretty seamlessly. When I make mistakes, which happens often, those mistakes serve as a springboard for new ideas. I call it an artistic scientific process. But when I'm in live performance situations, something a little like this, actually, where there's an audience in front of me, I get nervous. I don't want to make mistakes in front of people. It makes it much harder for me to be authentic. The same thing happens in life. It's much easier to be authentic when you're in a metaphorical practice room, in this case, my room. It's much easier to be authentic when you're alone because there's nobody there to judge or reject your authentic self. There's nobody there to judge or reject your authentic self. But you can't just be authentic when you're alone. You have to be authentic wherever you are. You have to be authentic with whoever you're with. And the way to do this is to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable with yourself, the people around you, and each individual moment to get your music across, to get your full self across. Authenticity requires vulnerability, and vulnerability leads to authenticity. The second lesson I learned from improv is to make space for others to be authentic. Now, making space means you're letting other people bring their full self across. I'm sure if each of you reflect, just think about all your friends, maybe not friends, maybe people you have in your life. I'm sure you can think of 1, 2, maybe even 3 people who stop you from bringing your full self across, people who stop you from being your full self. Don't be that person. There's a give and take. There's a constant give and take in improv. Making space means that you allow other people to bring their unique and authentic voices into the improvisation, which ultimately makes it more beautiful. Making space does not mean that you let other people's authentic voices overpower your own. It just means that you remain open to their voice so that you're able to share your music with them and they're able to share their music with you. The third and final lesson from improv on belonging is to improvise with a purpose. You're not just improvising blindly, you're improvising deliberately. Intentionality is probably the most important thing in improv. You have to have a direction. The best improvisers are telling a story or painting a beautiful picture with their improvisations. So in that vein, my purpose is to use my life to tell a beautiful story. This story isn't just mine. It also involves the stories of all the wonderful people in my life. They belong too. So as we're searching for this feeling of belonging together, I invite you all to be authentic so that you can share your individual stories, so that you can share your individual music with the world. Second, make space for other people to be authentic so that their stories can be included in your story. And finally, improvise with a purpose so that when we step back and look at this big improvisation we call life, we can all feel and truly believe that we belong.